So in this video, I asked ChatGPT what the top 7 Seattle suburbs are. So I'm gonna give you my reaction to this list of the 7 suburbs, and wait till the end. I'll give you some alternatives outside of these 7 places, these 7 suburbs, some other options that you can also consider in the Seattle metropolitan area, so stay tuned. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I love helping you guys out. Those of you that reach out to me here from YouTube when you're making the move over to the Seattle area, or you already live here in Seattle and you're just looking to purchase a home in this area, feel free to contact me here at my info below, or you can click the link below just to schedule a call with me on my calendar. Would be happy to sit down and talk with you about your home buying plans, and if you're moving over here, go over some areas that might be a good fit for you. But like I said, on this video, I'm really just giving my reaction to what ChatGPT says are the top 7 suburbs in the Seattle metropolitan area. Now, this list was pretty predictable. So we're gonna buzz through this list of 7, and then at the end, I'm gonna give you some alternatives to also consider. So let's start with city number 1 here. They said Bellevue. So Bellevue, of course, one of the most expensive areas you can live in the state of Washington. Very beautiful and nice area. Now, the median home price in Bellevue right now is $1.9 million for residential homes. And for condos, that's about $765,000. Now, you'll be able to see that Bellevue is in what niche.com rates as the number 2 school district in the state of Washington, Bellevue School District. So draws a lot of people into this area. All right, city number 2 you can see here is Kirkland. Kirkland, Washington, just north of Bellevue here. The city, just neighboring Bellevue. Median home price for residential homes in Kirkland is $1.5 million. And for condos, that's about $600,000 right now. Again, another very highly rated school district. You can see here, the number 3 district in the state of Washington per niche.com. All right, and another neighboring city here, city number 3 on the list, Redmond. Redmond is just next to Kirkland and Bellevue. Median residential home price is $1.3 million, and median condo price is $575,000. Same school district as Kirkland here, Lake Washington School District, the number 3 rated district in the state of Washington per niche.com. City number 4 on the list here is Issaquah. Issaquah is just a little bit further south than Bellevue and Redmond and Kirkland, still right along that same Eastside Corridor. Median home price in Issaquah right now is $1.7 million for residential homes and about $670,000 for condos. It is in what niche.com rates as the number 6 school district in the state of Washington. And city number 5 here is its neighboring city. This is Sammamish. $1.5 million for the residential median home price and $640,000 for median condo prices. This is the same school district as Kirkland and Redmond, Lake Washington School District for the most part. You're also going to have some of the Issaquah School District in Sammamish here, but Lake Washington School District, the number 3 district in the state, like we already talked about. Issaquah School District, number 6 district in the state. Also, like we talked about with Issaquah, all these per niche.com. All right, city number 6 here on the list is Mercer Island. Now, Mercer Island's residential median home price is $2.2 million right now, and median condo price is about $720,000. This is in what niche.com rates as the number 1 school district in the entire state of Washington, Mercer Island School District. And then the last one on the list here, number 7, this is Bothell. So this is the furthest north on this list. Bothell has a median home price of about $1 million right now for residential homes and about $775,000 for condos. And it's in the number 5 rated school district in the state of Washington per niche.com, the North Shore School District. So you can really see here, and a reason why I'm kind of buzzing through these cities is all of these cities, I'll show you on the map here, they're all in the same corridor. This is what we call the East Side. Mercer Island, we don't technically consider the East Side, but it is right there. The East Side refers to east of Lake Washington. You've got Seattle on the west side, and this east side is where we have these cities, Bellevue and Kirkland and Redmond and Issaquah and Sammamish and Bothell, all of these cities in this East Side corridor. There's a lot of reasons that this is the most popular area and why this list that ChatGPT pulled up is extremely easy to predict. One, the best rated school districts in the state, according to a lot of the sites that you look at, are all within this corridor. Second reason is there's a ton of jobs all throughout these cities. So you'll see people living all throughout this group of East Side cities, and their job may be on the south side or on the north side, and they may live on the opposite side, vice versa, living and working within this entire East Side Corridor. We have companies like Microsoft headquarters, you have Amazon offices, you have Google offices, you have GoDaddy and Adobe. These are just tech companies. We also have a lot of healthcare jobs over here. There's also a number of engineering jobs and finance jobs. There's a lot of money in this East Side Corridor, especially with a lot of people that have moved here from out of state to take these high-paying jobs. So it brings a lot of people in and makes it one of the more desirable areas for those high-paying jobs, for those great schools. The neighborhoods and the overall aspect of these areas can give you quite a bit of a different feel than, say, a Seattle, like a downtown Seattle, where downtown Seattle feels a lot older and it struggles with some issues with homelessness and all that goes along with that, versus this East Side area and Bellevue really being the epicenter. They don't have those issues. It's much cleaner, much newer, and they really do a good job of keeping these cities and these neighborhoods clean all throughout this East Side Corridor. So that is another big thing that attracts people to these areas. You have multiple different lakes right here. So when we talk about recreational opportunities, you have Lake Washington. So cities like Kirkland and Bellevue, they are right on Lake Washington. So you have easy access to that, whether you want to launch your boat or you want to go to a park and go swimming or launch your kayak, canoe, anything like that, you can certainly do that. Same thing with Lake Sammamish, right near Sammamish, Redmond, and Issaquah, just on the other side. Same thing. You want to launch your boat, you want to go swimming and fishing and launch your kayak, paddleboard, any kind of that stuff. There's a lot of water recreation in this East Side area, no shortage of that. In Redmond, on the south side of Redmond, right on Lake Sammamish, they have what I consider probably the best off-leash dog park in this entire area. This is called Marymore Park, a spot where the dogs can jump in and swim. It's kind of a looped trail, so dogs are off-leash, they can run around. There's big grassy areas as well for kids' sporting events, and they do events there all the time, like picnic in the park, movie nights, and all sorts of things at this Marymore Park. So it's a really cool spot to be. And like I mentioned, that is also right on Lake Washington. Outside of water recreation, there's trails all over the place. You're gonna find more trails the further east you go. So places like Redmond and Issaquah and the east side of Sammamish might have a few more options for trails than maybe Bellevue and Kirkland, although Bellevue and Kirkland also have a number of opportunities for trails as well. You have the Bridle Trails area that's really in the middle between Bellevue and Kirkland where they meet. There's a lot of equestrian properties around here, so you'll see equestrian users, going through the trails. It's also great just for you as solo or with your family, whoever, and just to walk down these trails. So there's certainly opportunities all throughout this East Side area, whether you want to go, on a trail walk, or you want to go take your mountain bike out, or you've got a horse. There's options for all of that stuff in this area. So it's really a combination of access to quick recreation. All the amenities that you need are close by. Every single store, whether it's a natural grocery store like a Whole Foods or a Trader Joe's or a Costco, and everything in between, you have any option you want for your amenities that you really need in this entire East Side Corridor. Like I mentioned, really clean neighborhoods, so you're going to find a good mix of a lot of new construction homes. Because the East Side area is a little bit newer than Seattle on the west side, there's a lot of newer homes, whether that's brand new built or a lot of neighborhoods that popped up in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. There's a lot of that in this area. You can also find some acreage opportunities in some of these cities as you head, general rule of thumb, the further east you go, the more opportunities you're going to have for larger lots of land, more acreage. So there's a lot of people that will move into, say, a Redmond or an Issaquah, and they'll get an acre, 2 acres, 5 acres, 10 acres. So those opportunities are available as well. So this entire East Side Corridor really offers a lot. It checks a lot of boxes for a lot of people, which is why ChatGPT ran this as all of these places as the top 7 suburbs outside of Seattle, even though the Seattle metropolitan area as a whole really has 70 plus different cities, suburbs in this area. So some alternatives for you. These cities that I mentioned, they were all $1 million or well over $1 million for their median home price, and that doesn't fit everybody's budget, right? People are moving over here or live over here and want to purchase a home, but don't have that budget to live in that east side city, there's a lot of other places, whether you go further north of Seattle or further south, that really interest a lot of people. Not necessarily saying my favorite one or the other, but some areas that I see a lot of people that are going to, especially when they're coming here from out of state. On the north side of Seattle, Edmonds is one. It's right on the Puget Sound. It's a very nice and beautiful area. You've also got places like Snohomish and Lake Stevens a little bit further north that provide some great opportunities for some more rural type living. You're not super rural, there's still town and everything you need, amenities. It's going to be further away from Seattle, so if you're commuting from work, that's obviously a consideration, but those are some areas that are really popular as well. That entire north side corridor, you've got like Linwood, which is a big hustling and bustling city with a lot going on there, a lot of people moving in there. As you go further down south, Maple Valley is one that I see a lot of people go to as well. It's just south of that east side corridor, just south of Issaquah. So a lot of people, they don't want to pay those east side, the Issaquah home prices, but they want to be close by, so they go to Maple Valley and get a lot more for their money. And Maple Valley has another very well-rated school district, access to plenty of recreation, newer areas, newer schools, a lot of newer homes. So that's a big draw for people as well. And Covington right next door is certainly an option as well. And there's places all along the I-5 corridor directly south of Seattle, like the Federal Ways and the Auburns and the Kents, which can give you a much larger break on those home prices, where your median prices might be closer to 500 to 600, 700, as opposed to $1 million plus. There's a number of options depending what fits your lifestyle, but that East Side corridor generally checks a lot of boxes for a lot of people when they're coming over here. So if they have the budget to do it, they often end up and look at shopping in those areas. All right, well, this wraps up my video here on the top suburbs places to consider just outside of Seattle. So like I mentioned, I'm an active real estate agent in the Seattle area. So if you're moving over here or you already live here and you're looking for help purchasing a home and you're really looking for figuring out the right spot for you to move to and to live, feel free to reach out to me. Would be more than happy to help you with that process. Thanks for watching this one.